Sure.
And we are recording. Hi, everybody.
Okay.
My name is Kevin O'Brien, and this is the Why Our World interview series. In this series of interviews, we are interviewing our users from all over the world. In this case, we are joined by Jyoti, and Jyoti is joining us from India. I hope I pronounced that correctly.
Yes, yeah.
Tell me,
Yes.
Jyoti, first off, where are you joining us from in India?
Okay. In India, I am from Maharashtra, near Pune city, and
That's
yeah, I am
that's a
a
very
working professional.
large city. That's where Mumbai is, formerly known as
Yes.
Bombay. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's close to correct. It's close. It's close to
Okay,
it.
yeah. So
Pune is
like
close to Mumbai. Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
big
Pune.
center of Indian culture there. Mumbai is like
Education.
the home
Yes.
of the Bollywood film industry and music and culture.
Right.
Exactly. Is that right?
Yes. And Pune. Yes, Pune is known for being an education hub and also for for its work opportunities. And from all over the country, students try to get into institutions which are present in Pune. It has diverse subjects from biology, neuroscience to mathematics and statistics.
That's okay. That's all right. So it's about 3 hours from Mumbai. It's on the just inland from Mumbai.
Yeah, around, yeah, 3 to 5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, depending on,
And tell me, what's your
yes.
career goal path yourself? Are you a statistician, a data scientist? What do you work
Yeah,
at? What's
I'm
your career?
working. Yes. Yeah. Last year, I completed my master's in statistics from Pune University. And since then, I joined a company where I'm working as a statistician. So, in my company, it's a biostatistics domain. I'm working in biostatistics, and that's where I use R for clinical trials, designing clinical trials, and things like that.
Good stuff. And that's local. That's in Pune. Is that correct? Yeah,
Yes.
good stuff.
Could you repeat?
Sorry, yeah, that's it in the city of Pune. So tell me, you have a master's in
Yes.
statistics. That is, I'm guessing, where you discovered
Yes.
R, or in your studies.
Yeah. Yeah, I discovered it during my bachelor studies. So a BSc in statistics when I was doing so around 5 to 6 years back, I got to know that there is a software called R, and it was how it was developed from S, the basic language S, and how it has so many things that a statistician can use. All the
Good
packages
stuff.
that are developed. Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Yes.
actually out of curiosity, what was your undergraduate degree like? So did you learn loads of R, probability distributions, biostatistics?
Right, we did. We did. Not it wasn't very so general statistics. Like for in the first year, we had these things like descriptive measures, and then variety of indices are there in economics. And then in second year, we got introduced to hypothesis testing, test statistic, and all those stuff. Then gradually in third year, we shifted to the properties of statistics like sufficiency, efficiency, consistency, and all similar things. We also studied applied statistics subjects like design of experiments, some survey sampling, and so on. And then during masters also, in those same subjects, we had more in-depth study of the similar of subjects we had studied during bachelor's.
Okay.
So in second year of my study, in first year of my bachelor's, there was one workshop in my college, and there's where I got to know about R, and I discovered how simple it is to use it, assigning of operators, then making graphs and such things.
Yeah.
And gradually in second year of BSc, I used it for probability distribution things, and yeah,
Good stuff. So
testing
this is
also.
something I'm very curious about. When you study statistics in college, do you focus on, let's say, statistical tests like t-test and var test and linear models? That would be
Yes, we did that.
Yeah, but also would you learn about R in terms of data processing or other application areas of R? For example, uh, tidyverse or something like that. Would that be sort of usual
Hmm.
on undergraduate courses? Uh,
Not really. Tidy was not really, but other things like applications for testing, for visualization of data, for testing of data, statistical testing. That's where we used R. And generally, for all the projects that we did, data related projects. So there
yeah,
were some theory courses and some projects. So for all the project related stuff, we used R for coding, for analyzing the data.
yeah,
And tidyverse, we didn't go too deep into tidyverse. I have heard so much about it. I really want to use it's more efficient, the pipe operators and
yeah,
filtering is more efficient when we use tidyverse as compared to using base R, where we use commands like subset or
yeah.
the simple commands like which and similar things. So
So as
tidyverse is more efficient than base.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So as part of
Yeah.
your journey, like outside of your formal education, you still developed your skill set. There was a lot of material to cover to develop your skill set
Yes,
beyond.
right.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good
So
stuff. And just sort of like, so you're in the biostatistics field. Is there any sort of packages
assigned to me.
or
No.
material that you were
Yeah,
interested in now?
right. In my company also, basic we started my manager assigned my basic courses to me, and now I am speaking to him for learning tidyverse. So that will help me advance in
Yeah.
my coding skills in R.
Okay, good stuff. And like that's very interesting stuff. So how do you feel you will develop? What is like the approaches that you sort of would look at? For example, would you take online courses like
Hmm.
Coursera or DataQuest or something like that?
Hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. So if we visit the R Studio website, there are already courses in it. That's where I get education from. Coursera, I have tried, but I have not completed some of the courses. I began, but I did not complete. Then I went to R Studio and I saw the recorded lectures over there, and I found them very interesting. And that's how I learned. Other than that, like today we are having interview similar to this. I keep attending workshops that are conducting throughout the globe, and now that everything is being done, a lot of interviews and workshops are conducted virtually. So that has given me opportunity to get to know about how R is being used worldwide. So yeah, a little thing. So once I attended a 3-day workshop where a group of people were teaching how to use R Shiny. So I learned basics of R Shiny over there, and that's how I learned through workshops or through online courses.
Okay, good
And
stuff.
then yeah, and then while we are working also on my formal project, we keep on discovering little things that will accumulate over time, and then that's how over time we learn.
Excellent. That's a very interesting aspect of this series actually is have when you were doing these online workshops did you meet people, did you develop like a sense of community with the other R users around the world, and if you could share anything
Yes.
about that?
Yes, I actually realized how popular the our community our work is, and how people are working in the our community. Some are working voluntarily, some are working for their academic projects, some for their work related projects. So I got to know how how can I make my coding skills more efficient. So earlier when I was in my academics, the things I did, I used to code in a way that I understood what I am doing, but it wasn't the most efficient way of coding. So as I get to know, as I get to interact with people who are more experienced than me. So I come to know, oh, that I can use this technique, I can use that trick. There are little functionalities in R. So recently, last week, I was speaking to one person and I got to know how to debug and undebug user defined R functions. So through interactions, I get to know a lot of things.
Excellent. Now, I'm just very conscious of time zones. So I'm in Ireland and India. So there's a time difference there of 5.5 hours. And for the rest of Europe,
Right,
it is 4.5 hours. So if
right.
something is on in the evening in Europe, it
Hmm.
means it's around midnight in India.
Yeah,
So does
that's
that
right.
create differences, or
Um,
does the time
yeah.
zones create problems?
So I try to attend. We first speak to people that can it be conducted at a time which is suitable to both. Like today, it's a good time. This is 2 p.m. at my place, so it's a good time. And when, yeah, there are some times when the meetings are at night, according to my time zone, at night around 11 or 12. So then for those cases, people actually do record the things, and then they upload it to different channels. They have started uploading to YouTube channel, right? So that's so then in those cases I can hear the recording. However, don't get to interact at the live
Yeah,
time live. Yeah.
that's an interesting part. So you're sort of, people in India are sort of seeing the activities, but not really able to participate to the same
Yes.
extent.
So when the time zone is feasible, we are ready. I readily attend, and when the time is at late night,
Yeah.
then I look at the recordings.
Okay.
So
So, just actually out of curiosity, for example, YR would have webinars at 7 p.m. UTC. Now, that would be just after
hmm,
midnight in India. But
okay.
is there any sort of similar sort of activities in India? Is there, are user groups very active? Are ladies? What's the sense of the community
Hmm,
there right now?
yeah.
We'll actually sort of break that up into two parts. So this has been recorded in March 2021, and we're in the midst
Okay.
of the Corona crisis. So
Hmm,
we'll break it up into two parts: before the coronavirus crisis and then
okay.
during the
Yeah.
coronavirus crisis.
Yes. Yeah. So before coronavirus, so there are Our Ladies, presence of Our Ladies is there in Pune. There is one chapter, and then some other chapters are there in other cities of India. One is in Bangalore, one is in Delhi, and a few more chapters are there. So these chapters are working actively. And while I was studying in Pune, I used to attend the art sessions that were conducted by Our Ladies Pune chapter. And those were they used to call us after. So they the major audience was college students, and also sometimes so advertisements were given, so professionals also used to come sometimes. And then so we used to keep those those events were usually on weekends, Saturdays mostly, or sometimes Sundays. So people used to come for that, mostly Saturdays. So students have or don't have lectures during Saturday evening, so they
Yeah,
could come. Yeah, and those events were organized within the university campus. So people had no issues about travel time and such things. So they used to come, and around 40-50 people, about Pune chapter I'm speaking. So around 40-50 students used to come. And there used to be some speaker. Once Susan Holmes from Australia had come. She had given a lecture on how she had been using R and R packages for her work in biostatistics. So I got to know about a lot about data visualization in R from there. And then apart from there were different series. And before any event, we used to get emails on Meetup. So from there, we used to know what will be the content of any given event. So accordingly, students used to participate in those. and working professions also came, and that also helped in interaction between students, interaction between students who are in college and people who were coming from industry. So they used to get, after the session, they used to get a chance to speak to each other and know and get to know at what level they both are. So yes, so
So
those interactions were quite good. And then this was going on till December, January, February around 2020. Yeah. And then after that, there were things like lockdown and everything. So the sessions did move online, and then the frequency did reduce. But yeah,
yeah,
before the coronavirus, there were more sessions.
yeah. Has there been more any virtual events, or is
Mm.
it like has the to the same extent? Like the Indian art community, have they had virtual events as much, or
Yes.
did
So, yeah. So about virtual things, then the organizers have started collaborating with the global community
yeah,
so that we can have virtual meets. So that those are going on.
yeah. So there's a big Indian art community. You just mentioned a couple of chapters there around India, and I believe that there's one in Sri Lanka as well, Our Lady's Colombo. So in the
I
same
see.
time zone, presumably. I was just
Yes.
wondering, has there been much interaction over the years between the art chapters in India, or the Our Lady's chapters in India?
Um, I don't know much about that
Okay.
collaboration.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Mm.
okay, not to worry. No, it's I realized that the distances are quite quite substantial. I believe it's probably like 1,000 kilometers from Mumbai to Bengaluru, like, which is quite a drive.
Yeah, around, yes, around 800 kilometers. Yes,
So yeah,
that's right.
that it's not a trivial matter to just to
Mhm.
go up and
Right.
down.
True. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Mm.
That good stuff. Tell me, so like the essentially what I was sort of getting at there is I've lost the train of thought. Sorry, I have to read my question there. So sorry, conferences. Like, has there been
Yes.
conferences, or is that a something that would like take
Mm.
happen in India, that you
Um,
might travel to conferences in Mumbai? Let's say both for
mm,
statistics and biostatistics in one
mm.
respect, and then specifically for R.
Okay. Yeah. So, specifically for our users, I don't know much if there have been conferences, but the conferences are more related to the domain. So, which, irrespective of software is used, there are conferences related to domain areas.
Yeah.
And last year, when I spoke about how after coronavirus, we didn't get to attend offline sessions. So that's when I came to know more about the virtual sessions. And since then, my more focus has been on the virtual events that are going on.
Yeah.
And yes, so there is the upcoming USAR conference. So I would be attending that also online.
I was going to ask you that. Are you involved in the running of that?
You mean organizing it?
Yeah.
Not yet,
Oh,
but
sorry.
I can
Okay. Yeah.
speak.
Yeah. Just actually, you're part of the Forwards Task Force.
Yes,
You've joined that very recently, I believe.
yes, I have joined it recently.
Okay, so what's your role in the Forwards Task Force? I mean, it's obviously very just at the start of your career, so it's
Mm.
hard to say what exactly you
Yeah,
do yet.
yeah. So I actually I'm just getting to know how the collaboration is working and how the meetings and conferences are organized. That's what I'm doing.
Okay, and that has a global reach. So just
Yes.
actually, what would your ambitions be for, or where would you like to see the Indian R community over the next 10 years? The general R user community, and then the R ladies community.
Yeah, I want to see it grow, and I want to see more collaborations between different language users like R and Python. So yeah, currently I mostly use R, but I would like it if I can have a collaborative work where I can work in different languages. So uh, in the long term, I want to see that happen.
Okay. I believe that Python is very strong in India. Like there's a very strong Python community.
Yes, yes, it's quite strong, and the number of events sessions going on are also quite huge.
Good stuff. And so just like could you maybe this is a tough question for you, but or a tough question, but just outside of India, let's talk about nearby countries, Nepal,
Uh,
Pakistan, Sri Lanka. Do you know much about the art community there? Bangladesh.
Not really. So I mostly the events I attend are in mostly in Europe or yeah, Europe, USA, London, and places like that. So far I have not attended any event virtual which is organized in a country around India.
Okay, good stuff. I think we leave it there actually. So thanks very much for joining us, and I hopefully we'll see you and all of the more of the Indian art community, and also we'll be mindful to run some events at uh, 1 p.m. UTC to allow the
Yeah.
Indians to participate more
Yes.
and
Yes.
and get more Indian speakers to share their insights about the art community. We'll have to be more mindful of that going forward.
Okay.
Okay, thanks very much for that. We leave it there.
Yes.
Bye bye. Now I'm just
Thank
going to
you very
stop the
much.
recording there.